I want to echo the Premier's comments. My condolences to Dylan's family, as well as to the families of the most recent of the residents most recently passed away at Northwood. We now have 46 Nova Scotians who have died due to COVID-19, and it highlights the ongoing serious nature of this virus. But I'm pleased to be able to report that, as the Premier said today, we only have, despite testing 840 individuals, we only have one new positive case, which is really good news. That brings the total number of confirmed cases in Nova Scotia to 1,008. We currently have 5 individuals in hospital. 2 of those are in the intensive care. We now have 722 Nova Scotians who have contracted COVID-19 but have now recovered. And we have 32,835 Nova Scotians who have been tested and have had negative results. Today we have 2 licensed long-term care homes and unlicensed seniors facilities with active cases of COVID-19. Northwood in Halifax, as everybody's aware of, has 156 residents and 38 staff with active cases of COVID-19. And at one other facility, we have 1 staff member with an active case of COVID-19. While it's good news that our case count is low, it is too early to relax. We need to continue to pay attention to COVID-19 and remain vigilant. And I do want to emphasize again that we still have a robust testing process. It's important that we, anybody who may have symptoms that could be COVID-19, that we get them tested quickly, and if they are positive, do the appropriate follow-up. So any Nova Scotians who have 2 or more of fever, new or worsening cough, headache, sore throat, runny nose, if you're able to get online, do the 811 online assessment tool. If you can't, you can phone 811 and they'll walk you through a process to do further assessment and get direction as necessary for testing. It's important that people continue to understand that process. This Sunday's Mother's Day, which I want to bring this up for a few reasons. First, I want to wish an early happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, including my wife, who holds down my family fort in the last few weeks, and anybody else who's in mothering roles. I also want to give a big thank you to the mothers who may miss Mother's Day with their families and loved ones because they are responding to COVID-19 or providing other essential services. Thank you for doing that. And while Mother's Day should be a time when everyone can get together to celebrate, this Mother's Day, like other special occasions that we have right now, cannot be like it has in the past. So for those who are in the same household together, certainly celebrate Mother's Day as you always would. Give your mom a big hug, tell her you love her, make her breakfast. Thank her for everything she does. But for those of you who do not live with their mom, please, we need to find a way to tell your mom that you love her, thank her, either virtually or in person while respecting social distancing. It's difficult, I know, to do this. Particularly, many people have mothers in long-term care facilities who are otherwise away from their families and would love to be able to visit them. But it's important at this time that it's essential that we continue to take the appropriate steps that have allowed us to slow COVID-19 down, and we need to continue to protect those who are especially vulnerable, like people in long-term care facilities. I'd also like to pass along my sympathies to Nova Scotians who have recently lost a mother or a person who's in a mothering role from COVID-19 or any of the other recent tragic events. Another, along with Mother's Day, we have another weekend upon us. And I know many people will be looking to get outdoors. And I would encourage people that it's really important to get outdoors for our physical and mental health. But while we do that, it's important that we get outdoors and follow public health measures such as social distancing. So I would encourage everybody to go outside with those who are in your household for everybody's collective health. But make sure that as you're doing this, that there's at least 6 feet between you and other household groups. We're also asking people to not drive unnecessarily. Try to enjoy as much as you can what's in your community or neighborhood. And if you are out on trails, if you're passing people in a parking lot or in a park or on a trail, make sure you give each other the appropriate space. And if you are happen to arrive at a park or a trailhead where there's a full parking lot, please understand that we need to limit the number of people at any one time and continue on and head somewhere else. It's important to also emphasize that the good personal hygiene measures that we need to continue to emphasize. Nova Scotians have certainly done a really good job in improving our practice on this. So we need to continue things like good frequent hand washing, coughing or sneezing into the crook of your elbow, sneeze in the sleeve, cough in the trough, we call it. Avoid touching your face because that's how we actually infect ourselves. And at home environments, regularly cleaning with a disinfectant cleaner, high-touch surfaces, counters, doorknobs, taps, things like that. People, it's also they can understand that if people choose that not wearing a non-medical mask when you're out in a public place, especially when it's difficult to maintain that 6 foot physical distance space, that if people choose to, they can certainly wearing a mask doesn't protect them, but it helps them prevent the spread if they happen to be an asymptomatic spreader with COVID-19 or any other viruses that we have in our nose and throat, helps minimize the chance of spreading those to other people. So we all need to continue with all these personal steps and also following the public health restrictions while we continue to move forward and plan for the future as reopening our province.